What's up, everybody? So working on the Z again today, gonna get right into it. So yesterday what I did was I gave the engine bay some new paint, just the upper portion of the engine bay that's gonna be most visible. I didn't want to paint all of it. I gave my reasoning for that in one of the other videos, but I gave it a quick refresh, same color, same OEM color, just wanted it to look a little cleaner. And then now what I'm doing is I'm just getting ready to put everything back in. So I got the fuse box back in and the cruise control stuff. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now I'm just putting everything back in where it should be. I do want to clean up some of these brackets and stuff right here and paint them. And just like on the cruise control, like that little bracket back there, I'm gonna clean all those up properly, but I'm gonna do that once I have everything put back together and the engine running. And the reason is right now I just want to make it run, and then the dress up stuff I can do afterwards. I'm gonna paint all those brackets one color anyways, so I don't want to get too deep into the cosmetic side of the things. I just want to kind of get this going, and then I'll go back once the car is running and driving and everything, do the dress up stuff as much as I can. Then shouldn't be too hard. So I'm just putting everything back together right now. I'm gonna put in the new wiring harness. In one of the previous videos I probably explained how I got that old one out. Basically took apart my whole interior. Let me show you what it looks like. So just gonna work on getting my new wiring harness in. It's gonna come through that big hole right there. I took apart the whole glove box, the AC unit behind it and everything. There's a little plate, I don't know where I put that plate right now, but there's a plate that covers that hole where the wiring harness comes through, and to get that plate off, this is the right way to do it. So that's what I did. Here's that AC unit I took out, and just look inside it. So I'm kind of glad I did that. I'm gonna give this a really good clean before I put this back in, of course. And so yeah, I'm just putting things back in the car. I have the new wiring harness here. I'm gonna put this in, and I have my new fuel hoses as well with the new spring style clamps. If you know, you know. The OEM ones that came with this car aren't good. The screw type, they loosen after a while. You get fuel leaks and stuff, so I'm changing those as well. So I'm just gonna put the new wiring harness in and change the fuel lines and get all that situated. And at the same time, I have my silicone hoses that I'm going to be putting in. I'm putting the brake booster hoses, the heater core hoses, and whatever else I can do right now for the silicone stuff that I got from Z1 Motorsports. That's these right here. And I did mention in one of my previous videos that I hate the Z1 logos on all their silicone hoses. So what I did was, so this had a Z1 logo on it. It doesn't anymore. And unless you're looking for it, you can't tell, but that is where it was, right there. I probably could have put it on a little cleaner, but I'm sure I'll be fine after a while. I just put this on like 2 minutes ago. So I bought this tape. It's self-fusing silicone tape. And you use that and it turns out like this. Saves your engine bay from looking tacky with Z1's logo all over it. So that is what's happening right now. Anyways, I'm gonna mount you guys up and start putting my engine bay back together so I can drop the motor in next weekend. Okay, so here's what I'm working on now. I got that wiring harness through and I put the heat shields and back up against the firewall. So it's all nice and tucked away like it should be. Just have it sitting right there right now. And then I started putting my silicone hoses in on the brake booster there. I just have to clamp it down, and I put my heater core hoses there. Now basically what I'm working on is I did take out my power steering fluid reservoir, and I also took off that fuel rail that was here, the hard line, and I just painted those. I'll show you guys those in a second, but I'm just waiting for that paint to dry. I painted those yesterday actually. So I painted those. I'm gonna mount that and run the silicone hoses on that. And then I'm gonna change my silicone hose over here, the coolant overflow one. And basically what I'm working on now is this. So I just got my passenger side intercooler in. Looks sweet. So the NA chassis has the bolt holes already, which is awesome. So passenger side went in no problem. I'm working on the driver side right now. And I wasn't originally gonna remove my carbon canister. I didn't really see a reason to, but now I'm gonna have to remove it because I can't get this aftermarket intercooler in there because it's too thick and it's gonna hit the carbon canister. So I'm gonna pull that out and make some room and then mount up this one. And then the intercoolers are good. I might start routing up some of the piping. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty much I just want to get the intercooler in right now and then I'll do my power steering stuff. I am gonna change those fuel lines. So there's 2 fuel lines down there. I remove them. They come from the back of the car. And there's those 2 hard lines, and then there's about like 6 inch of hose that goes to the hard line, and then it comes up here. So I am gonna replace that. Those ones you can only really replace with the engine out. So as preventative maintenance, I'm gonna do that as well. Anyways, I'm just gonna remove this carbon canister. I'm not gonna record this, but basically I'm just gonna pull this thing out. This is the line that comes from the fuel tank, as it says right there. So this is the one that is kind of the one you gotta pay attention to. The other ones are just irrelevant after this point. So, okay, so I got the whole carbon canister out. So much more room here now. I just gotta figure out what to do with this big turd right here. But so this was a vacuum line, that was a purge line, and that was the line coming from the fuel tank. Basically the hardest part about the carbon canister was getting to the first bolt that's over here. You gotta kind of move this out of the way and then get to there. Everything else was super easy. Once you get that, you can slide the carbon canister down and then take out the 3 bolts that are back there. And then the whole bracket and everything just comes right off. This is the bolt I was talking about. That was hard to get out. This one up here, this one right here. So the way it sits in there is like this, I think. And then this one's hard to get to because that tank is touching up against this bolt. So I just moved that tank out of the way a little bit, got it loose enough to take the carbon canister out, and that was it. So this is probably one of the easiest deletes on the car, honestly. So now I marked which line was my fuel tank line, and then I kind of traced back. It's pretty easy to tell anyways. So inside the engine bay here, these are the 3 lines. If I can show you, these are the 3 lines coming right here. So I loosened the bolt that was over here holding these lines in place. So it's these 3 lines up here. 1, 2, 3. This is the line that goes to the fuel tank. We just leave this out, maybe put a filter or something at the end of it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's it. And you're done with the carbon canister delete. Now we can get our second intercooler in. Okay, so the only thing I don't really like is this driver side intercooler. So I bought these brackets used. They've definitely been used a lot, that's for sure. They're a little bent up. This one I had to put a 2x4 on it and hammer it and try to straighten it out a bit. That one was pretty bad and bent up, and it just wouldn't fit properly. Like, I'm pretty sure the bolt for the top is supposed to be in here going from this way, but I just could not get it to go properly. So I had to use the other hole and put a bolt in from the backside. It still worked, but it's kind of hitting the bottle here. I'm probably gonna get my Dremel and just cut just the tiniest bit of that bracket off because I don't like it hitting the bottle the way it is. But I made it work one way or another. So yeah, intercoolers are on the NA chassis, boys. Now I'm just gonna put a couple more things. I got that power steering stuff all dry, so I'm gonna put that in. Give me a second, I'll show you what that looks like. So that's it, guys. So it's done. The engine bay is ready. One thing I didn't do was the battery tray, as you can see, but I'm gonna do that at a later time, only because I don't have anything to order from Concept Z Performance right now, and they're the ones that have the replacement tray for that. And being in Canada, I don't want to pay like $30-40 in shipping for just one part. So I know I'm gonna need something from them at some point whenever I make an order. I'll get the battery tray then. But engine bay is ready to go. So I got all my silicone hoses in. I got the power steering ones there. I have the heater core hoses. I put new fuel lines with the new spring style clamps So I've changed those ones. Those ones are only reachable pretty much with the engine out. So I did those. I used Gates Barricade fuel injection hose. It's top quality, so that's the one I went with. I used it there. And then I changed this one. I put it here. These two longer ones. Then I'll be doing it obviously on the engine and stuff as well. I changed that power steering line right there to silicone. The radiator hose right here is silicone. And everything is done. Only thing left to do is drop that engine in, so it's ready to go. I'll have my plenum tomorrow, so I'll put that on, and then I gotta put some more hoses on here for the idle air control valve and PCV and stuff like that. Ordered some silicone coolant hoses for these, for the turbos, and that should be here Monday, so I'll put that on, and then next weekend the engine's going back in for sure. And I think honestly what I'm gonna try doing is doing it 2-in-1. I'm gonna put the engine and tranny in at the same time, just to make things a little easier. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna end the video here. What I'll be doing now is just painting my oil pan. I got it right here, prepped and ready to go. I'm gonna start painting that right now. Tomorrow, what I wanna do is I wanna put my new oil pan on, my rear main seal on, and then I can do the clutch and flywheel and stuff before the tranny gets mounted to it, so it can go in the engine bay. I don't think I really have anything else I want to share with you guys, so I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll have a new one for you soon. Hopefully the next video is me putting on the oil pan, the rear main seal, clutch, flywheel, everything like that, and then followed by the motor being dropped in and the assembly. So once the motor goes in, I'm gonna hook up the intercooler piping and all of that, because obviously it makes more sense to do it with the engine in. I'll put my AC condenser and radiator in as well before I do the intercooler piping, because I'll have to work around that. So it's coming along. It's coming along slowly but surely. Look how nice this looks all painted. Look how nice this looks all painted. Came out real nice. And I got the Z-Spec kit on there too. Sheesh. Anyways, I'm gonna go paint that oil pan so it can dry, so I can put it on tomorrow. And I wanna go home right now. I am beat. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.